So recently, I was asked by one of the top marketing tool companies in the world to help provide some insights in terms of how marketers can think about using emotional intelligence. And this is an area that I think is really critical in this day and age. If you look at rates of loneliness, depression, anxiety, disconnection, they're at an all-time high. Mark Schaefer talks about this in his book Marketing Rebellion, about the importance of belonging. Chris Brogan, another major thought leader, talks about the importance of connection and belonging. And I think one way that we can pull people in and create a sense of belonging that helps people deal with the loneliness epidemic is this idea of using emotional intelligence in our communications. And when I'm talking about emotional intelligence, I'm going to be digging into this quite a bit more, especially in the series I'm going to be doing for this major organization. But one of the things to really be thinking about is that as companies and organizations, we can play a role if we choose to really help connect with people on a deep, meaningful, real level, not just selling them a product or service, but really thinking about how we can create a sense of real belonging. One of the great examples of this, and I hate to admit that I'm not a listener of their music, but is the Grateful Dead. The Grateful Dead, and how they created such a huge following for their music and would have people show up even though, they really never did a ton of marketing. But what they did was they created this sense of community. And I truly believe that there are opportunities as we think about it, and it's something we need to think about how can we bring in and connect with people and provide real senses of belonging. Because I don't think it just helps the consumer. I also think if you look at some of the challenges that we face as marketers, as content marketers, there's a lot of times where we feel like there's not purpose in the work we're doing other than selling a widget or a product or something. And there's an opportunity for us too to feel really good about the work we're doing. So a couple of quick tips when it comes to emotional marketing and emotional intelligence when it comes to marketing to be thinking about is that it challenges us to do three things. One is it challenges us to be honest about our motives in what we're marketing about, what it is that we want the end result to be, and really looking at being transparent in a way that evokes trust, again, in a real way. Secondly, and I think this is the huge element, and I'm going to be talking about this a fair amount on my LinkedIn videos coming up and my videos overall, is the sense of empathy and really being empathetic to your audience. I think one of the biggest challenges that we face in today's day and age is that we're caught in our own little filter bubbles and we forget to think about somebody else, what they're going through, the challenges that they're dealing with. And when we think from a real empathetic standpoint, it's not only beneficial for the person we're communicating to, it's also beneficial to us. And I truly believe in the books that I'm reading a lot on this topic of loneliness and connection. Brene Brown is one of the people that I've been reading. A book called Them, which is another really good book, deals more with political world in the United States. A book called Belong, really, really interesting stuff. But it's this idea of how can we make connections with others and that foster this real deep understanding where we show and we foster caring. And then last is bridging this gap between what we want and what our audience wants and needs. And again, that requires that empathetic muscle to kick in and really think about what do we provide? What solution do we offer? This goes back to my buddy Marcus Sheridan's whole philosophy of they ask, you answer. What are the problems that your customers are facing and how can you really, really, truly help them? So digging more and more into this. So the series will be coming out in July on the international organization's website, but I'm really going to be hitting some tones on this concept of emotional intelligence. So just wondering, what do you guys think about emotional intelligence? What are some of the concepts that you have questions about or things that you've learned? Is it something that you're struggling with? Is this idea of feeling connected sometimes to the work you're doing, the purpose in it, and also feeling connected to the customers that you serve? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Start this conversation and really look at how we can build emotional intelligence and ethics and empathy into marketing to help both the customers and people that we serve, as well as serve ourselves. So share your comments below, and I look forward to chatting with you guys soon.